Well, come with me, I'll show you how to be a metal man. When the gears are turning and the fires are burning, when the world takes a round, your voice is talking all the time. And you live for sleeping, you never slept because you cannot sleep. Colonel Walter was shout when he learned from the Nile. Copper African elephants turning hostile. So we built these wonderful automaton boats and a very big steam machine.
I love the creating side of it. I'm always making stuff for it, and it's great, you know, when I'm walking along. I mean, I usually carry around a little black book which I write all my ideas in. So if I'm walking around and I come up with an idea, it's like, oh great, I'll put that down in here, and then, I mean, if I show you, it's all filled with weird and wonderful weapons and stuff like that. Well, design, you know, cosplay sort of weapons and that. So that's the main thing I love about it, is just being creative. Steampunks started back in 1987. There was two authors who were writing alternative history Victorian novels.
And somebody sort of looked at it and said, wow, you know, I can sort of don't just have to read the magazines, I can actually be a part of it and bring it to life by wearing the clothes. And found that other people were involved as well, and it spread from that. But it's all to do with a Victorian retro futuristic world.
And then about 2006, the scene just exploded. There was festivals started to form. There were all over the world. I mean, it's big in America, it's big in Australia, it's big in Europe. Groups were starting to form up, like we had the group in Lincoln form up just after the first Asylum 6 years ago. And it was just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's still growing now.
Well, we got into steampunk a few years ago when we first came to Lincoln, and the festival was here in September, and we looked out of our window and saw these people fancily dressed and thought, wow, we've got to get involved in this. We found out that there's a whole sort of subculture going on, and we thought, well, it kind of helps to get involved and bring out one's eccentricity a little bit.
And walking around and thinking about, well, that's, you know, we like the look of it, we like the idea of it, so we'll get involved next time, which we did this year.
Steampunk is an escapism from life. A lot of people use it for that. Some of the jobs I've done and the places I've been, it's crap. So you want something to make it more interesting, and this is it. It is escapism, yeah. You can have a really crappy day. Today I had a crappy day, but I come here, see my friends, you're happy. Forget about the real world for a few hours and have a lot of fun. When I dress up, I am Theodore Poddington Smythe. Most people don't even know my real name. My Facebook is completely made up. The person is completely separate. So when I dress like this, I am Theodore Poddington Smythe. So yeah, I do become the person I dress up as. Yeah, definitely. Theodore's not shy. He's very extrovert. He's very out there. He pretty much says what he wants to. Whereas the real me is a little bit more conservative.
I find it is a bit of an escapism for me, and it just gives that side of me that wants to get out there and dress up a chance to sort of come out. But for you?
Yes, yeah, I think for me it's a different sort of angle, and maybe not so much escapism as more being able to put on what I've bought in the past, as opposed to just allowing it to collect dust and from a stepdaughter to point it in and laugh and say, what's all this about? So yeah, it's sort of fantasy role play. It's a giggle, isn't it?
A lot of people come into steampunk already being a steampunk. They just didn't have a name for it. For me personally, I've always loved historical sort of clothing, Victorian clothing, and I've always liked that kind of look of wearing that a little bit every day in everyday life. But I never had a name for it until I discovered steampunk, and then I suddenly realised that's what it is, that's what I am. Steampunk is bigger and more popular than it's ever been. I do steampunk weddings. That's a huge trend at the moment. Ladies and brides want to wear corsets and bustles for their weddings and top it off with a little top hat, and Obviously the grooms all want waistcoats, but they want waistcoats with a bit of a twist to them. I think one of my favourites is probably my ball gown that I made for my 2013 collection for the asylum, where I started experimenting with different bustle styles, and I introduced a kind of a more structured, boned kind of bustle style. That's always proved really popular. Whenever I have it on display, people always say, "Oh, that dress." So that's probably one of my most favourite ones. The asylum in Lincoln is really great fun. It's now the biggest steampunk event in Europe, so we get people from all over the world come to visit, and it's just so great to see so many people all in one place, all enjoying steampunk. So from a stallholder's perspective, it's been brilliant. So many people are interested in it, ask questions about it, and obviously want to buy things to become involved.
I think the asylum's a fantastic weekend, just fantastic. The atmosphere is just alive. Everybody's friendly, everybody's happy. So what else can you say about it? It's just brilliant.
Yeah.
We just love it. And there's so many fun things go on during the weekend. We have, like, in the castle, there's a wacky races. And what was the other one? The other one we saw?
Oh, they had a lower minimum altitude display team, which was basically some people doing a sort of I don't know, an air display to Dam Buster's theme tune, but just running around this little bit here, a bit like you did, you say, back in, I don't know,
when
probably don't do it now, but when you were sort of 5 years old and running around the playground with your arms out going, like that, pretending you're a jet. It's all sort of that sort of stuff, sort of jolly hockey sticks, and let's play conkers and...
just the fun, it's just so much fun.
I went to Asylum last year as just a visitor, dressed normally, had a little wander around, but this year I went full on, went to the whole weekend. Had a room in the Hilton, really went for it. Theodore is a very posh fellow, and dressed up, did everything I could do. The ball was awesome. I like the ball, it's good. Basically, it's a ball, you turn up, everybody's fancy dress, wrong word, I'll get shot for that. Ball gowns, suited and booted, tails, military uniform, like Victorian style. And there's dancing, you have a meal, there's a band on and a disco, and it's just everybody gets together and has a good time, gets drunk, and has a dance and a laugh. Yeah. Then you go back to your hotel, order room service, and chill.
The steampunk movement impacted on our life quite a bit. We go every Wednesday evening now to a local pub here in Lincoln, the Widow Cullen's Well, where there's a sort of a social gathering. It's quite serious. There's not much beer drinking. It's more cups of tea and coffee and chit chat and handing around cakes.
Before I had steampunk, I really wasn't doing a lot. I just sat around the house, not doing much. Now, I'm off around the country, going to visit people and going to different events and making stuff and creating stuff, just generally going and chatting and talking with people, just having a few drinks on Wednesdays and that. It's really helped me just get out of the house a lot more.
Steampunk had a massive impact on my life. I lost 3 stone because of it. I've made a lot of very, very good new friends. Before that, I didn't really do much, didn't do a great deal. Sort of pretty miserable, really. This gave me something to do.
The main thing I love about it is the crafting side of it. I'm always making something. I'm always fiddling with something to make it look more steampunk. Like if you go and getting something from a a shop or something like that, and seeing that and thinking, right, I can turn this into something crazy. Like for example, these goggles are something that I've made myself. This is all homemade, and I love doing stuff like this.
I think it's a good idea to get into steampunk because you meet so many different people, all ages, all different countries, all over the world. It's very creative. You're very much encouraged to have a go at things, whether it's sewing, whether it's making props, whether it's trimming a hat. There's so many different ways that you can get involved in steampunk. You could have your own take on it, and it's neither right nor wrong.
Steampunk gives me friends, somewhere to go to, and fun. And I get a chance to dress up.
You don't have to spend a lot of money. You can have a look through your grandma's clothes, just put some bits and pieces together, spend a few pounds at in a charity shop. Bits of jewellery you can always break down. Why get into it? Why not?
La, 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 la.